Hello YouTube, my name is Rob, and this is my Rampaging Netflix review. So seeing as this is my first actual review, I had a couple of movies in mind that I really wanted to do, but my struggle was I didn't know if I wanted to give you guys an obscene amount of rage right off the bat, or give you something that was a little bit more cushy, something that was easy to grasp. So I'm going to start off with a horror movie that I watched on Netflix recently called The Den. I had seen the trailer for it a while back. It seemed pretty interesting. Another one of your found footage films, but with a little bit of a different twist. Mainly when you watch a found footage film, it's somebody holding a camera, shooting everyone else other than themselves. Occasionally the camera hits them when they pass it off, or they happen to turn on themselves for some random pointless monologue that either gets us nowhere or gets an obscenely close nostril shot. This one was all shot through webcam and cell phone cameras. It's a little bit different. There were points in the film that definitely had me going, bullshit. The amount of times throughout this film that someone had a cell phone camera just held in their hand, down by their side, perfectly askew, just enough to catch a touch of their face and enough of the background to give you a feel that something was slightly off, was completely ridiculous, completely unbelievable. Now, I know it's a film, it's a horror movie. It's not supposed to be believable, but the amount of times that this happened and how perfectly it was lined up, it actually became quite annoying after a while. It was boring to watch, it was very expected, and I don't like that. I like a film to keep me on my toes and keep me guessing. About halfway through the movie, I started to kind of get the sense that what happens at the end was pretty much what was happening all along. There are things that happen throughout the movie itself that kind of give it away, like the things that I like to consider or call the girl scream moment, where the unexpected scare happens, where everyone else, anybody in the theater or in front of the computer screen or TV screen, is expecting it. Gets silent, things start to look a little off, and then, bah! It happens. Pointless scares, loud noise scares, it happens. We've got it all. Everything in this movie is over the top. It's the stuff that you expect, the amount of nudity. No, you never see a nude woman once in the film. You'd expect it, especially once they introduce the cast and you start to see these women, and you're like, wow, okay, I'm a guy. I don't mind. It'd be nice to see. Around the time you expect it, you get a full frontal cock shot for an obscene amount of time that nobody really wants to be looking at that. Now, granted, this entire movie kind of takes place within a social network video chat thing called The Den, thusly the name of the movie. So with that in mind, you kind of expect to see what you would see on like a chat roulette. You know, people making jokes, guys jerking off, all that sort of stuff. They put it in there. They put it in there more than I would have liked. But within that happening, you actually got to meet a lot of the main character's friends' family. I enjoy this. This is one thing that horror movies these days miss. They completely cut these things out, and it pisses me off beyond belief. Consumers in film these days, the people that all of these horror movies are being targeted for, are simple-minded fucks. And it drives me nuts. It drives me so fucking nuts that the viewers have now decided how simple writers need to be in making a movie, especially a horror movie. There's no heart anymore. There's no truth behind it. There's no built-in character, and that's the main point. This movie had it. This movie actually had a build-in character. You got to know everybody in the movie. It was really, really nice. There were a few characters, people that you kind of expected you would have got to know a little bit more, but you didn't. When you see the film, you'll know who I'm talking about, and you'll understand why they didn't become such a huge character. I'm glad they didn't, because there were certain scenes in there that if they had become a larger character, it would have taken the film in another direction that I didn't foresee, and I personally would not want to see. I like horror. I love horror. I love really fucked up horror on top of that. Human Centipede 1 and 2, two of my favorite movies. Own both of them. The amount of what could have happened in this movie that didn't happen, I'm glad it didn't, because it would have taken away from the true-hearted simplicity of this film. So with all of that in mind, with everything I've said, not too much of a rampage this time, but the things that really bothered me about this movie were the generic scare factors. The loud noises to make a jump, instead of actually having something that was physically or mentally disturbing happen. The generic moments that you will see plenty of throughout this film. Let's just say the dead body that's not a dead body. I guarantee you know what I mean. There were multiple other things, very, very small things I could nitpick at, but I won't. Mainly because at the end of this all, the movie wasn't all that bad. It just could have been better. But all in all, it's worth the watch. So all of you out there with Netflix, watching this to know what's out there that you don't know about, go ahead, find The Den, add it to your queue. Watch it a couple months from now. Watch it tonight. But I ask you, watch it. It was worth it. It was good. Until next time, I'm Rob. This was my Rampaging review.